Looks like we are live. Just gonna do my usual tests. Check it out. Check it out. Give me something to talk about. Hmm. I have said I'm live there. Just waiting to see. Okay. Just waiting to see. We are live. Okay. Just waiting to see. We are live. Okay. Just waiting. I'm going to do something different this time. I'm going to wait for people to come in. I'm going to see if there's anybody who wants to talk about anything before I get going. My link over there in the post shows what I'm going to be talking about. And maybe ParsTube. Anybody there? Please say hello. If not, I'll carry on in 4 minutes. Funny guy. So, okay. 3 people watching. 3 people? Okay. So, guys, we're going to talk about this book called Powerful Phrases for Dealing with Difficult People. And it's a summary, all the important notes I've taken. Let's get down to business. So, in this one, you'll become familiar with the 5-step process to resolve conflict of any kind. In addition, you'll develop the ability to work through problems with 30 types of difficult behaviors and personalities. It's so long. We'll get to that. Employees who are able to stay calm and approach conflict in a self controlled, thoughtful manner are viewed more positively by coworkers and bosses. My personal observation there is men need improvement in this. And the next point is try not using always or never phrases. Again, my personal observation women need to improve on this. I should say from my personal experience. Okay. The other thing is begin with I phrases to avoid you. You means you're pointing, you attack. It becomes it comes off as an attack that needs to be defended. Instead, say like um, you can say, I was hurt when you. I wouldn't even use that word you. I would say, I was hurt when so and so happened. We'll give examples when we talk more into this. Instead of using, you hurt me, you did this, you always. I can't tell you, like, most of the relationships where I was not in a healthy one or it was immature communication, you always. So that one's always, you already, that's your weapon. You're attacking someone with that. And always and never, those two words, always and never, they're definite items. Then it's not always. Whenever it happens in my conversation with my partner, I'll be like, look, first of all, you're using toxic language. Second of all, tell me try to find the times where I've not always done that, just to try and break it. Because some conversations you'll keep looping. You'll have your usual loop conversations. So you can try and avoid those. I'm going to close some of these windows that are distracting me at the moment. So you heard me. Yeah, we've talked about that. If you don't know how to launch into conversation, preface it. Uh, using an I phrase by saying something like, I have something I need to talk about, or I have something I need to get off my chest, or something happened that is bothering me. Paras note, see bonus video at the end of this post of a real life example. So I've made a real life example of how I wanted to talk to someone who was having a difficult conversation that was really bothering me, and I just had to say it. So I was like, "Look, can we find a time? I need to talk to you about something." No, 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 no. I think the steps were letting them know that I see their point, and we'll get through those anyway. So let me not start rambling on those. But the real life example is there. Now, one thing I've been made aware of is that I can be pretty aggressive with my body language. So, actions and body language, gestures, facial expressions are important too. I have this frown, I have this really overbearing, what do you call it? What does my wife call it? She's like, even when I'm asking the family a question, I'll be like, what? Why? It's a bit like it's a bit punchy. So, you have to be aware of that, especially when you're having a conflicting conversation. Be aware of yours and also reading others. So know the signs, see what signs. Recently, I was trying to open a conversation with someone and they were just so closed off. They didn't have the tools to have mature conversation. They were used to immature conversation. So I knew I wouldn't get too far with opening a dialogue with them. If it gets to a point, then obviously I would raise it. In this case, it wasn't that important, or it wasn't that important in our lives. I couldn't say much about their lives. Um, Actions, body language, gestures, facial expressions are important too. Be aware of yours, read others. Know when touch will enhance communication. Okay, what kind of example is that? Because if it's aggravated, okay, you're sitting with someone, hold their hand to let reassure them. I think we'll get to it in phrases of reconciliation or one of those. Assertiveness means saying what is on your mind. So assertiveness is holding your ground and saying it properly. My wife is very good. She'll keep repeating the same thing while I'll start getting louder. I'll be like, no, no. So I'll move from assertiveness to aggressiveness. And let's talk about that bit also. So, carefully choosing your words, matching your actions to what you're saying, and being respectful towards the other person. That is being assertive. Assertive is good. Aggressiveness means saying what's on your mind when it comes to your mind, giving no thought as to how you're going to present yourself and ignoring the non-verbal signals you send. If you act aggressively, you'll likely come across as angry, arrogant, bossy, or egotistical. Once again, I know from my own observation and experience, men have a much harder time putting things in words, taking out the swear words, not getting into the physical thing, because that's how guys express themselves. So guys would need to pull these reins much more, much more. Good conflict resolution discussion clears up confusion, channels positive energy, boosts confidence, helps people move forward, and ultimately strengthens the relationship. As long as you're coming from that space of wanting to fix the relation, not just you. Okay, so I phrases. I was hurt when you said I make too many mistakes. I became upset when you took credit for my work. I felt betrayed when I heard that you talked behind my back. I became confused and lost when you interrupted me during my sales presentation. Now, in this case, I preface my meetings or whenever I'm making a presentation or anything, I will tell them I'm one of those people, like many of us. Once I get into my hyper focus, I need to close that loop. So if I keep getting interrupted with too many questions or someone trying to interrupt my thought, it's very hard for me to get back into it. And then we're all going to have to end up staying in the meeting longer than needed or have another meeting. So if you have any questions, if you have any feedback, please wait for the queue. I'll usually do it after a section of slides or at the end of the whole presentation, depending on how it goes. I was surprised when you jumped in before I had time to finish. So, once again, when I'm on a phone call or anything, I'm just like, before we finish this call, I really struggle when I'm interrupted with when I'm trying to form my sentence, when I'm trying to make my point. Can I please finish? Can you please give me some time? Even if I give, if there's a gap of a few seconds, it's just me trying to gather my thoughts to present what I'm trying to say. Could you please give me that courtesy? And the last point is I get frustrated every time you talk so loudly that I can't hear customers. The loud talkers. Hmm, yep. The next section is called phrases of understanding. Now, um, should I just show you? Let me just tell you this the 5 steps. Uh, those are not the 5 steps. Okay, sorry guys. The 5 steps are still a bit ahead. We have a few phrases we're talking about. So, first one was I phrases. Then we have phrases of understanding, apology, compromise, resolution, and reconciliation. So they all flow in its own way, and you can either pick depending on what you need or make up your own, like the examples I've just told you. So phrases of understanding are, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't like that done to me either. I realize you didn't do it on purpose. I understand you didn't mean it to sound that way. I'm sure you are just excited when, and all these. So those are phases of, there's like at least 10 or 12 examples there. You can always click on that link I've put in the chat. I'm sure I may need to put it in the comments, or if I don't, someone can please do that. Um, Next one is phrases of apology. So I'm sorry if I seemed overly sensitive. I'm sorry if I misunderstood your intent. And even if they are wrong, you want to put it in a way that you're like, oh, I'm sorry you saw it that way when I saw it this way, but we'll get to that in one of the phrases of reconciliation or something else. I'm sorry we need to have this conversation. I apologize if I misunderstand what happened, etc. Phrases of compromise. Let's talk about this. I need to know why it happened and how we can keep from it happening again. Can we talk about what happened? I feel that we need to talk this out so it doesn't happen again. Let's go somewhere in private and try to resolve this. Let's talk this over and find a suitable compromise. So things like that. There is one long one here. Here's how I see the issue. Dot dot dot. And here's how you see the issue. Dot dot dot. Here's how I see it. Let's see where we can come together on this. And I use this a lot with my partner, where I'm like, look, this is how you see things. This is how I see things. What What is the solution? What can we come together with a solution? Do we need to walk away right now, think about things, and then come back to see if we come up with solutions? Product placement time. Okay, phrases of resolution. I'm happy we resolved this, and this is where you want to come to a resolution, so you can get stronger in the future, especially with people who you're working with and dealing with on a regular basis. I'm glad we talked this out. We have a better understanding of what happened, and trust me, when you get out the other end of your dramas, you'll feel a different sense of closeness, a different sense of achievement at the same time, that the relationship has found a new level, so to speak. So you can build on that if other bridges are broken, or, like other bits are not that good. You can use that as a building block. I'm pleased we are able to clear this misunderstanding. I'm thrilled we are able to da 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 da. Is there anything else you need to talk about? That's a very good one. Is there anything left unsaid? Um, Whenever there's some kind of drama, even if it's a drama between you and some other people who are somehow involved, it's always good to talk to them and ask them, like, is there anything you needed to say, get off your chest, something like that. um, do you feel a better understanding? How do you feel about this solution? So asking. And then finally, we have phrases of reconciliation. I value our working relationship. Going forward, I feel we are able to work through problem, blah, blah, blah. And I'm glad we talked this out. Now we can work through any problem. I respect you, you know, and know that we'll work even more closely now. So it's just adding more cement and nice stuff to what you've already just fixed. Yep. So the five steps of conflict resolution. Step one, think first. Step two, gain a better understanding. Step three, define a problem. Step four, offer the best solution. Step five, agree on a resolution. Let's go back to step one. Think first. Never act or speak before you think. This is one of the biggest issues. Um, Even in anger management, I think I'll do the anger management next or in a future one. Put some gap, put some space, whether it's time to your reaction or just space between the event or the person. So your trigger is diluted more and more. So never act or speak before you think. Take time to calm down and control your emotions. Look at the situation from all perspectives, including whoever you thought was doing you wrong, including the other people who are seeing it from the outside. So they're seeing your story and the other person's story. This I've discussed in a previous difficult conversations live session. Stay objective when thinking about the conflict. Focus on the problem, not the person. This is a good lesson for a lot of people. Even with my son, what I do is if he's done something wrong, I'll be like, your behavior, I am not happy with your behavior at all. You as a person, I will always love you. So let the person know they're not the bad person. Their behavior or whatever the thing was, that's what needs to be fixed. Think through your conversation along with likely responses. So if they say this, how can I say something which is not going to aggravate the situation? How can I say something in reply that will hit the nail on the head in the way they will understand? I'm actually impressing myself with whatever I'm on today. Is sarsaparilla. It's yummy. Think along responses. Yep. Refrain from taking sides in other people's problems. And unfortunately, it's very hard for people to do this. So when you get a mediator, even the mediator should take notes first, get the understanding. Let me put there's a technique called the speaker listener technique that is just, I love it. I just wish we could do it more or people would do it more. See for more, see speaker listener. I have the link there. So speaker listener technique, talk without fighting. Yeah. The gist of it is when you say your issue, the other person doesn't listen to respond. They listen to say exactly what you have said in the way they understand it. Oh, so what you are saying is, or what I'm understanding of what you've just said is da 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 da. Then you say your bit, and they repeat the same way, and then you back and forth and find a solution. It's such a nice technique. Um, Try to help the other person objectify the situation rather than make judgments. So a good example would be taking yourself, like you can use NLP tricks, or instead of this conversation, you just say, okay, look, this is A here. Let's say this is how I'm seeing things. This is B there. This is how you're seeing things. A and B, this is what's going on. What can we do to help these guys? I think that was a nice one. Step two, gain a better under. So this is conflict resolution. Step two, gain a better understanding. Never draw conclusions before first speaking to the other person. I want to talk to you about this because this is how I saw it. Is this what you meant when you said this? Is this what you meant when you did this? Da 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 da. Question the other person in an objective and respectful way. I just want to get a better understanding, and I want to know um, your side. Like, is there something I need to fix? Do I need to do that? Carefully listen to the response so that you can gain understanding of how the other person views the issue. The more, if more than two people are involved, get everyone together and allow each person to tell his or her version of the situation. Now, this is a big one. I was trying to help someone to have discussions, but it was so hard to try to even get people together because s- one didn't. I'll give you an example. One wouldn't listen to understand, they would listen to respond. The other wouldn't even listen for the sentence to complete before they already had a very volatile reaction. So even before you come to the table, you have to come to the agreement of what rules you're going to play by. Otherwise, it's like it was fireworks, man. If more than, yeah, we've said that. Encourage everyone to use I phrases when explaining. If you're in that meeting and you haven't set that rule, everyone's like, you always, you always, you always. What's going to happen then? If someone becomes emotional, pay attention to non-verbal cues behind the message. A lot of the times it's fidgeting, this, that. Um, Another example that's come to my mind is uh, say someone who doesn't have the tools to have the mature conversation. What happens? They go very volatile, aggressive talk, swearing, shouting, all that. Or when they are talking, they get choked up. They can't speak for because they haven't prepared. They're not used to preparing, and then it's just like I want to say it, but it's not coming out. Yeah, if you had a string of what you needed to say, even if you had to read it, it would come out much better, and you wouldn't be in that seesaw of choked up or you know what I mean. You know what I mean. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. But otherwise, we're carrying on. Listen carefully and avoid interrupting. When it's your turn to respond, control your emotions. Now, those two, interrupting and emotions, I still struggle all the time. All the time, especially when it's something that needs to be dealt with there and then, or I just need to. It's a recurring thing. Like, oh, it's happened again and again. I'm tired of this. So, within 10, 20 seconds of me realizing, okay, I have started getting emotional and stuff, I'll be like, I'm just going. I'll just walk. Go to the car, just go to the toilet, find any reason. I become much better at it now. So you have to practice. If this is happening to you a lot, practice distancing, practice finding ways to get away from that situation. Soon as you start seeing the triggers, um, should I include my anger tracker? I've already made a video on that. Just do a search on my YouTube channel and you'll find the anger tracker. It's very helpful. It's helped me a lot. It's like exercising the right muscles. If someone becomes upset or starts losing control of his or her emotions, acknowledge and offer an assurance. Defer your discussion until the person has had time to calm down. Yeah. So if you yourself can't figure it out and you can see someone else is doing it, or each person can help each other while you're doing this, just say, look, if I get emotional and I can't get hold of myself, this is a cue. Can you please tell me? Or maybe let's take a break or something like that. So I know it's time we need to break or just get some distance again. Conflict resolution, step number three, define the problem. So now that you've set up uh, you've put your distance, you've got some rules and understanding, now you define the problem. When you feel you have enough information, restate the problem from your viewpoint, then ask the other how they see the problem. Now, in that previous video, I've talked about how you have your story, they have their story, and then there's the real story, or the story. Yep. Say something like, I see it this way, how do you see it? And then before you move on to find a workable solution, everyone must agree on how the problem is defined. We have defined the problem. The problem is so and so has an anger issue. That's one issue. We've also defined this person has an anger issue because of the communication issues on this side. So we've defined these problems. Communication needs to be fixed on this side. Anger and emotion issues need to be fixed on this side. Step number 4 of conflict resolution. Please let me know if I've got anything wrong or if anything needs to be changed or your feedback, stuff like that. So you've covered your tracks twice and you've addressed everything. You tied it up, give yourself a nice BCC present. So now we come to the list of how to deal with different kinds of bosses: abusive boss, controlling boss, egotistical boss, incompetent boss. Oh, I should send this to my friend, he's struggling. Inconsistent boss, micromanaging boss, non communicative boss, passive boss, reactive boss, unethical boss, and those are all those bosses. Um, I really wanted to do that, all of them with you, but they're such big paragraphs and chunky. Um, just pick the ones you need to work on if you need to work on them, or have a look at how it is. I'll give you a quick example of. I think there was one really nice one that I liked. Where did it go? Uh, Confronting a coworker, a brown noser. I like this one because in this case it was different because uh, you use peer pressure, as it's often effective when dealing with a team brown noser, because it's the peer pressure. So he's going to feel the push around these kind of people and stuff like that. So depending on what the situation is, they've kind of tweaked it and made it nice, and it's really nice, all of these. And we've gone through all that. Now, powerful phrases for situations you cause. Hmm. Step 1: think first. Focus on listening carefully without interrupting. Allow the person to get it all out. Okay, so this is when someone wants to have a conversation with you. When you're listening, problem. Now, a lot of the times, all these conversations, they'll start going into other stories, past, future perceived dramas that are not going to happen. Oh, you always, yeah, whenever this happens, this is going to happen. This is just bring it back to what you to discuss now and sort what it discuss now. What needs, um, I think it's an Australian thing. Make the main thing the main thing. Backtrack, bring it back. You already agreed on the definition, so there's no need to rehash that part of the dialogue. If you're not able to resolve the issue, you may have to agree to disagree. Sometimes you just have to go. Step number 5: when someone brings up a issue about you, agree on a resolution. After you agree on the resolution, offer a phrase of resolution, following that with a phrase of reconciliation. If you are unable to agree, offer the phrase of resolution suggesting that you agree to disagree and let go of the issue. Following the phrase of reconciliation, stating that you want to move forward without letting this situation come between you. And that's the main point of having these discussions and everything, because there's a distance, which is the saddest part of when two people are fighting and shouting at each other, because both of you are shouting at each other while you're so close to each other, shows how distant you are. How distant you're trying to get so loud, trying to get into their thick head, and the other person is trying to get into your thick head. Both thickheads are just still going on and on. Nobody's learning anything. I've included a link to bonus 10-page summary and then table of contents. Let's go through them quickly. Acknowledgement, introduction, powerful phrases, working relationships, resolving conflict the wrong way, why it doesn't work, and then all those phrases we've talked about, and then resolving conflict the right way, why this works. Yep. Actions that enhance powerful phrases, body language, facial expression. One thing I've noticed, I haven't talked much about facial expressions, body tone, and like I didn't go deep into it, so I might have to look for that. Let me just skip this table of contents bit. Let's go to this 10-page summary and see if there's anything fresh or new that I haven't already covered. So, key concepts, I strategy, gain a better understanding. Yep, introduction, calm, further information, I phrases, apology, author, compromise. No. Oh, yep, here we go. So, facial um, body language, person, posture, stand. Okay, so confident, competent, and comfortable person would include standing up or sitting up straight, holding head high, maintaining good posture, relaxed shoulders. Keep it relaxed. Keep a relaxed stance by standing with equal weight on both feet. What would be the difference if you're on one foot? A bit more casual, I guess. Or unless one foot's in front of the other, then that's it's a fighting stance. Yeah. Um, Allow hands to fall naturally on the sides and fold in front in a relaxed position. Apparently, this is meant to be closed, but a lot of guys in the meeting do this, and I think it's mostly just hiding the belly or cold. Keep hands out of pockets. Lack of fidgety. That sentence didn't make no sense. Okay, facial expression. Facial expressions that project a positive image include holding the head straight rather than lowering it to the floor or tilting it to the side. Oh, so my guru, my main guru, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, he was like, these guys who look at you like this, look at you like this. It's like, who does he think he is? Does he know who I am? Do you know who I am? Those kind of. So side glance. Don't cut the corner of your eye. Smiling when appropriate. Now, smiling in any case in certain situations can come off really harsh. Um, Even the smallest smile would be like, oh, this guy's being smug. He's giving me a smirk. Da di da di da. Turning the ends of the mouth upwards slightly to convey friendliness. Sure. Maintaining eye contact, but not to the extent of staring. Now, I think it was in the How to Talk to Anyone live with women. You can hold your eye contact longer, while with men, it starts getting threatening. I want to say, is that the word they used? Threatening. Raising the eyebrows to show interest and excitement. Oh, 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 oh. Nodding occasionally to show active listening. Yeah, yeah. Some of these, I don't know, like, of course, you're going to show that you're listening. Anyway. And then voice tone. Examples of how voice tone using a professional, calm, non threatening tone when beginning a conversation. Using tone to enhance a message by showing non concern, by showing concern and empathy. Using a tone to enhance. Oh, so what you're saying is that a good one? Okay, I get that. Using tone to express an interest in working towards a positive solution, especially if one notices that her tone is reflecting confusion. I really do want to fix things. That was so off. Uh, I'm just freestyling here, man. Examples of assertiveness is speaking with confidence, expressing views clearly. So remember, I talked about the choked up guy, either can't be in the middle, expressing clearly. He's either choked up or express views clearly. Speak objectively, staying calm, controlling emotions when stating a position, apologizing no more than necessary, refusing to back down to allow someone to be. Wait. Let's get this sentence right. Refusing to back down to allow someone to be verbally abusive. Does that make sense? Anyway, this is not my summary. This is a 10-page summary I got from Busqueda something library. So basically, don't back down to stand up for yourself when someone's being verbally abusive, showing respect and consideration toward the other person. Now, steps, late Nick, yeah, we've talked about those. And that's it for that 10-page summary. And that is also it for today's talk. I really hope this helps you. Um, this one and that other one, difficult conversations, those two have helped me so much in having much better conversations. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. At the end of this page, there is an example video of me dealing with someone, and I'll let you have that one. So, yep. Thank you, folks, and I shall see you in the next one.